Hello, this is Ursula, and I am about to interview someone that I absolutely love because she has stories to tell. I didn't say a story, I said stories to tell because she's done some incredible things and continue to do that every single day. And yes, she is an author. Yes, she has multiple books, and she just happened to have one with Sula Too Publishing. So I want her to talk about that and anything else she wants to because her stories, as I said, are fascinating. Welcome to Pamela McCoy.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time zone is where you are. Thank you, Miss Ursula, for having me here. I'm delighted to be here to spend some time with your audience.
Yes, thank you. So tell me about you. How did you first start writing and why?
Well, interesting story. People would always come to me and say, "Oh, you should write a book." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay." And just kind of procrastinating, thinking I'll get around to that sometime. Um, but then, oh gosh, it was back 2016. I was going to be the keynote speaker at a women's conference in Atlanta. And as you know, being a keynote, you will get like the a table to sell, a vending table, and all that comes with kind of being the keynote. And I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to be the keynote speaker at this women's conference and have a vending table with nothing to sell? Not a very good look. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I got it. Let me just put something together. I'm going to have a, and it just all like in that moment, I thought all those voices of people saying you should write a book came rushing back. And I had been doing these inspirational messaging for many, many years. And this is even pre social media. So I've been texting people. I bet you I had close to 200 people that I was texting every morning, these morning inspirations or what have you. So I had thousands and thousands of inspirations and whatever. So it seemed logical and the easiest to kind of put something together with that. So it wasn't, I was going to be a devotional book. Was it going to be, I didn't know what genre, whatever. But when I tell you, my faith is foundational for me. And I made the decision that I wanted to have a book for this conference, which incidentally was going to be like less than 60 days away, like literally like 55 days or something.
Wow.
Um, I got this download, and that's what I mean when God just like sends it boom, 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 like an immediate download. And so it was going to be a culmination of these inspirations that I'd been texting all these years, but social media had come into play. So I had been posting as well at that point, but still had several people, probably 45 or more. And even to this day, I think I have like 32 people that I still text because they don't really do the social media thing. Um, these inspirations. And I had written my first book already, the one that you see above behind me. And my first company I had started, and this is the book that we're talking about, the Bonafide Bits for Inspiration and Intellect Collide with Your Finances, is the book that was going to be birthed. And my first company, Bonafide, which is spelled different, BONA, the number 5D, and we'll talk about the number five, and that's why I wanted to make sure that I spelled it. Um, it has five mantras: educate, empower, evolve, enlighten, and enrich. When you apply those principles, financial freedom's in the palm of your hand. That's the mantra for Bonafide. And so with this book, I wanted to, tie it back to Bonafide, right? And those five principles, those leading principles, which are, even though in this context were related to finance, they're principles for life, really. And at this women's conference, we were going to be talking not only about finance, but self-esteem and some other things as well, and thus the title. And so I wanted them to be categories, not chapters, because it's not that kind of book. So I refer to them as categories. And so I'd said to my husband when I was putting this together that I wanted the same number, that feng shui, balance kind of flow. The same number, I didn't know what the number was, but the same number in each of the five categories. Right. And so how the book is broken down is it has an inspiration. It'll give you a life application of that inspiration. And then it will also give you a financial application of said inspiration. Right. And so, as you know, when you're writing a book, you go through several iterations, right? And so I'm many sleepless nights all night, trying to get this book together because I'm in a short time turnaround to get this book done. And so lo and behold, when I finally get the book done, and a lot of interesting stories, because even who did the forward in my book, it's say God. And when I can't explain things, the other thing, my trademark saying is hashtag GISCC. And what that stands for is God is so crazy cool. And there were so many of those on this journey, right? Even down to who wrote the forward in my book, which was Dr. Willie Jolly, or what have you. And so when I ended up with the final copy and the first copy of my book in my hand before the conference, right? And it's not how it normally works, because I literally had the physical copy of my book in my hand, ready to go to this conference, which I remember I said it was less than 45 days that the conference was going to be or whatever. And that's not the norm. Like, I had the physical copy ready to be sold right in my hand. And that is because God had orchestrated. I had everything, that every person that I needed was already in my Rolodex, and they came through for me. I mean, the editor, the formatter, everything I needed. And tonight, all that I need, I already have, right? In hand to get this done. And I didn't realize, it's like you realize, but I didn't connect the dots until I had the first copy, and me and my husband were on the sofa and looking through the book. There ended up being 11 pithies, if you will, in each of the categories. And how many categories did I say that there were? 5, right? Educate, empower, evolve, enlighten, and enrich. So there was 5. And what's 5 times 11? 55. And what number did I say is my number? 5 is my number. So that's that Jesus math. That is a hashtag GISCC moment for sure, that I knew that he was all up and through this journey of how do you write a book and get a physical copy in hand in less than 45 days to be ready for a conference that you're going to speak at. It doesn't happen. It couldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen, but it did happen, right? And that's how you know. Hashtag GISCC. God is so crazy cool. Like it was just one of those moments. An amazing journey. And even to have Dr. Willie Jolly, write the foreword for the book, that is too a hashtag GISCC moment, unheard of. I met him all of like 30 seconds or whatever. But when I reached out, because my philosophy on life, give them an opportunity to tell you no. Like, I will ask you for anything I want. I don't care who you are. If I want it, I'm going to ask, because the worst case scenario is that you're going to tell me no, right? And life will go on. But if I don't ask, the answer was already no, right? And so I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I asked the question. And how about he too, like all these other people that were in my path, to allow this to come to fruition, for this book to be birthed and be birthed in such a short time frame. He too came through for me, right? Someone that I met literally for like 30 seconds or whatever, came through for me. And we subsequently developed a relationship, a partnership, a friendship. And he is a mentor, or as he likes to refer to himself, my tour mentor. As when I tell you, he holds my feet to the fire, right? On terms of being accountable and progressing, and don't let you wiggle your way out of and make excuses or what have you, which is exactly what you need, right? You don't need yes people in your corner. You need people who are going to hold you accountable to what you say you want and need to move forward and progress, or what have you. So I'm forever grateful for him, not only coming through for me in this moment, but for all the wisdom that he has poured into me since that time, or what have you. Amazing, accomplished person. So forever grateful for that. So for all those who are out there and I honestly and truly believe that there's a book in everyone, right? Whatever is your story, whatever is your life experience, it doesn't matter that someone else has already written on the subject. No one's experience is like your experience. No one can say it like you're going to say it, right? And so everyone has a book in you. Why you're going to write the book will dictate how you go about writing the book, whether it's self-published or you get a publisher, or how much money you want to make on the book and all those kinds of things. um but you have a book in you, right? And so write the book, right? Whether it's an ebook, a novel, an ebook, whatever, write the book, right? You've got
It's
a
so funny
story
that
to be told. So
y- you have said so many things already that connects with what we do. When you talk about everyone has a book in them, well, yes, that's what we do. Last time we got together in this fashion, you said so many wonderful things that ended up being a book in and itself from a podcast. And I have a book that I wrote called Write a Book in a Weekend, and you just spoke to that. You may have things already there that you're already doing that you can just go into your file cabinet, go into your computer and pull out those things that you've already gathered over years, over time,
mhm.
and then turn it into something that can be a benefit to you. And you're a perfect example of having done that. I am just
Yes,
amazed.
absolutely. And as Ursula alluded to, she in from that podcast, and you can see behind her the purple book. I was the first of her little series that she created, her little tiny books. I was the first
Oh,
of her tiny book series, and so proud of that book about my volunteerism. Again, something just that I do,
and
right? But
and and
she
on that
thought,
note, when you talk about tiny books, the slogan behind that is that they're small enough to fit in your pocket, but big enough to change your life. And that's what you did. You told about things that could change people's lives in that book.
yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me be your first. Thank you for telling a piece of my story. I just appreciate it. It's just my journey, right?
Yes.
And so I hope it will change some people's lives. Or my one word when people ask why I do what I do, my one word is always impact. And what I mean by that is whomever that God sees fit, that our paths intersect for whatever period of time, for whatever reason, I need their life to be better in some way, right? Whether it's just a smile, even, it doesn't even have to be a conversation. It might just be a smile or a good morning. I need their life to be better in some way. And
Wow.
so if the book that you wrote about me, or the book that I've written, or even the third book that I participated in an anthology, if my chapter in that book can have impact on someone's life, that's simply why I do what I do, right?
What's the
My
name
two
of the
businesses,
anthology?
pardon me,
What's the name of the anthology?
the anthology I did, it's called The Top 25 Game Change Makers, right? How Florida entrepreneurs thrive during challenging times. And my chapter in there is on page 180. And my chapter is called Bread is Bread is Bread, Affirmation and Reaffirmation. And people often think that my chapter has to do with money. But ironically enough, it really isn't about money. And I think that because of the bona fide side of my business, I do financial personal money management. Not. It's kind of a thread between the bona fide side of my business and the B5 reaffirm side, which you'll see on my t-shirt here, where we focus solely on self-esteem. It's kind of all of those things and a few other spices, if you will, in the recipe, because it's about kind of what I've alluded to about the book and other people having done it in entrepreneurship. Really, if you go down the aisle of any store, any grocery store, how many different brands and types of bread do you see? Many, right? And if you put that in the context of entrepreneurship, if you put that in the context of life in general, there's other people, brands, types, right, of things. Don't ever let that deter you from what it is that you want to do. If it is your dream, if it is your idea to do this thing, whatever that thing is, don't be deterred that someone else has already done that, that someone else has already thought that, that someone else has started that, right? Because each one of us are uniquely designed. That's how he created us, right? So no one can do it like you do it. You are your own unique secret sauce, right? And so the world is waiting on it, whatever the it is, how you do it, how you say it, right? There's other people who do financial capability education, but no one can do it like me, right? The world, some people in this world are waiting for it to be taught the way that I teach it, for it to be done the way that I do it, right? There's Susie Orman, there's Dave Ramsey, there's all these other people who do it, right? But no one can do it like me, right? And so I'm still going to do it because some people need it done the way that I do it,
It's
right?
so funny
So,
because in hearing what you're saying, I so know it's true. And
mhm,
I've over the years I've said that if somebody is talking about writing about a particular subject and they have that concern, well, how many books about JFK has been written or
exactly.
FDR or whoever, Obama? So it's not about being the only one, but telling your story in your voice. And speaking of your voice, sometimes it boils down to people just like hearing your voice versus somebody else's.
Absolutely. And you're going to add your own flavor, secret
Hmm.
sauce, right? Your life experience different than someone else's life experiences, and your life experiences influence everything that you say and you do. So that
Right.
alone makes it whatever the it is going to make it. And so you just have to do it. Don't be deterred um by others having done it already, others doing it currently, because you're you.
Yeah.
And you're uniquely designed by design because that's how he intended.
And sometimes that uniqueness can manifest itself in incredible ways, even beyond what you think yourself. And when you were talking about inspiration, it reminds me of something my own daughter is doing right now. She's creating affirmations via music.
Hmm.
And what she's pulled together is just amazing. And I think I may have shared it with you, but if not, I will.
Yes. Hmm.
And she's creating a whole album of affirmations. Now,
Yeah,
affirmations have been around for a while, and certain statements have been around in those kinds of affirmations. But the way she's put it together is unique to her.
absolutely. Look, and her and I might need to get together to collaborate, right? Because what we're doing, like she'll add a little layer of secret sauce to what I'm doing, right? Because there's room for everyone. And I always say, my other saying that, particularly in this entrepreneur space that I find myself, is that we need to get out of our own way and realize that we don't compete, we complete. And what I
Right.
mean by that is her and I can come together. Yeah, this whole self-esteem space that I'm in, it's all about affirmation and reaffirmation, right? But
Mhm.
what I do is a little different. I'm not doing the music side of that, right? Because that's not my lane. That's not my area of specialty, right? But that's her lane. And so we can come together and she will layer something on top of what I'm doing. And together, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was just
It's going
thinking
to
that
be more
too.
impactful because what I'm doing, and then you throw that music on top
Yes,
of that, like that's fire,
right.
right? And so the two of us together, that's dynamite,
And I would be
right?
a
And
proud
that's not
mama and a
competing.
proud
That's not
publisher.
competing. We are completing, and
Yes.
we're doing and being more forceful, more impactful on this journey of affirming and reaffirming the world,
Yeah.
right? And why
Right.
is that not magic? Why is that not super, super, super secret sauce?
You
Right?
know, I had a visualization just a couple of days ago when we were talking about the challenges that we're facing as a group of people. And as opposed to trying to compete with each other and trying to outdo the other, I said,
Mm-hmm.
what if we all lined up side by side? Each person has their own skill. There, we trust that person to do this, we trust that person to do that, and we all walk straight forward. And that way, everything is covered, as opposed to, no, my way is best. No, my way is best. Uh-uh.
Exactly.
You handle the
That's
people
it.
that will follow you. You handle people that will follow you.
Exactly. Exactly. It makes so much sense, but it is a mindset. It truly is a mindset that says we do not compete, we complete. Meaning, I need your little piece to add to my little piece to make the piece stronger,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset, and so yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm. So I know that you have a tight schedule. So what statements do you want to make to leave resonating in the air?
Um, Move forward, whatever is your dream, whatever is your dream, whatsoever is your dream, move forward with it. Don't allow anything to deter you moving forward with that, right? Not this or someone else is doing it, or feeling inadequate in any way because of those things. Just move forward because your uniqueness is what's going to be the secret sauce, right? Your uniqueness is what's going to be your set apart, or what have you. Because the world needs it the way you do it, right? And so that would be my parting words, is to just go, to just do, to just be, um,
Yes. Okay,
because the
so
world
there you,
needs that.
I'm sorry. I stepped all over your last statement. What did you say?
So it's just because the world needs that.
Okay. All right. So there you have it from the title of the book that she and I collaborated on. Those are the words of a shero, because she indeed has done some wonderful things. And we have celebrated her today and every day. So go
Absolutely. And
change the
I'd love to
world.
help anyone. So if you want to reach out, I can be reached at PamalaMcCoy.com. And again, it's Pamela with three A's. If you put an E, then it's not me. So I like to say, so it's PamalaMcCoy.com. I hope to hear from you guys. But go, let's conquer the world. And remember, we don't compete, we complete. So let's collaborate. That is the true currency that's going to make the difference in this world.
All right. So with that, go off and change the world in your own unique way. Take care.